Today's tutorial is a super fun one, especially for the holidays. We are going to be making these adorable ornaments. So we're gonna get started. I'm gonna walk you through all the supplies you need, and then we're going to use our Cricut. This is not a project that you need your Cricut with, but it does help if you can't cut a perfect circle. I know I can't, so I always rely on my Cricut to make sure that my projects are as perfect as can be. So if you're using a cutting machine, you will need your cutting machine. This will work with any cutting machine that has print and cut available. So I'm using the Cricut Maker. I'll need a light grit mat and a fine point blade. And then I'll be printing with a laser printer on transparency film. And I have special transparency film that is for laser printers. So make sure that you buy the laser printer transparencies, and I'll link those in the description below. Then once your print is printed, we'll run it through the Cricut, and then after we'll use this Glaminator to foil it. So this comes with the Glaminator, it's a carrier sheet, and we'll put the foil on top, so whatever foil color you want, and then we'll run it through the Glaminator. Once that's done, we'll place the print and cut inside the ornament, and then we'll fill it with snow flurries and attach a ribbon on the front. If you want to attach the ribbon like I did on this one, you will also need a hot glue gun, or you can simply tie it around the entire ornament and add a bow to the front. All right, let's get started. If you have a Cricut, you will be in Cricut Design Space, and here we are going to design our image that will actually print using our laser printer and then have our Cricut detect where the lines are to cut it. So I already have my images designed, but I'm gonna walk you through how I got to this place. So before I get started, I'm gonna change our canvas by clicking right here down at the bottom. I'm gonna change the color to blue so we can see what's going on. And then in the upper left, I'm gonna toggle on that little square to turn off the grid lines. So now you can see what's going on. I have white circles with snowflakes and names inside of them. And since I'm printing on transparency film, anywhere you see white will actually print clear. So let's draw a circle by clicking on shapes and then choosing circle. And we're gonna change the color to white since that will print clear, and then adjust the size to 2.9 inches. After we have that, I have my snowflake image here that I'm gonna unhide, and then I'm gonna bring this to the front so that it goes on top. And I'm gonna resize it so that it's about the same size as my other snowflakes. Perfect. Now I'm going to take another circle and resize that just like this. And these do not need to be exactly the same measurements that I'm using. Again, I will link to the canvas that I have here so that you can just customize the names. And I'm going to change this to white. Again, that will be clear. I'll make a copy of that and make another one just a little bit smaller, and that one will actually be black. And then my last one will be white. So since this is already designed, I will just link to the canvas so you don't have to recreate this, but just in case you're curious on how I did this, this is what I did. All right, now that I have my 3 circles drawn, I'm gonna click on all 3 by holding down the Shift key and selecting each of the 3 circles, and then I'm gonna align those center and group them together so they all stay together. And then I'm gonna highlight my other circle, snowflakes, and group, and align those all center as well. So now everything is aligned, and now you can see that all of these think, my Cricut right now thinks that they're gonna cut out. I want it to know that I wanna print it and then cut the outermost image. So in order to do that, I would just click flatten. Of course, you'll want to add your name first before you do that. And you can see that my black line got super small, so let's unflatten that for a second and ungroup this and make our black line a little bit more apparent. So align and center that, and now flatten again. So you can see that you can adjust these however you want. You can make your circles bigger or smaller. Again, you can play around with it however you like. Just make sure that you add your font there and then flatten your image. So I'm gonna hide this since I don't need this one, and then I'm gonna click Make It. Now on the Make It screen, you'll notice that you can't see my circles, but that's okay, they're there and everything is flattened and ready to go. So again, make sure that you see Print and then Cut, and you'll know that you are on the right track for your print and cut. Then click Continue, and now we're gonna choose Send to Printer. I'm using an HP LaserJet. I'll link to the printer I have. I'm not sure if it's still available, so I'll also link to some other good laser printers. Again, it does have to be a laser printer since we do need the toner to react with the foil. I don't need any bleed since my image doesn't have any bleed, and then we're gonna use System Dialog. I'm gonna click Print, and then the System Dialog will pop up. Sometimes this is a little bit tricky because it might pop up behind everything, so you may have to minimize your windows to find this little screen. It won't actually print when you click that, it'll just bring up this extra set of settings here. So I'm gonna toggle down to Print Features, and then on mine I have these feature sets. So I can choose Paper, Print Options, and Print Quality. I'm gonna choose Transparency for my paper, and then I'm also gonna drop down to Print Options. Print Density, I'm gonna go all the way up to 5 so I get nice dark prints. And then Print Quality, I'm gonna go to 1200 DPI so that I have 1200 dots per inch. And then now I'm ready to print. So I'm gonna take this over to my printer and print it out, and I'll show you what I get on the other side. So my printer printed out the image. You can see that it does print black. And like I mentioned, anywhere it was white is actually clear. And then we're gonna place this on a light grip mat and then send it through our Cricut. So here we are back in Design Space. I'm gonna click I've already printed, and then I'm gonna choose Browse All Materials since I'm on a Maker, and I'm gonna search for Transparency. If you're on an Explorer Air 2 or any Explorer machine, you can turn the dial to Custom and then choose Browse All Materials. And you'll see that we just need our fine point blade loaded into the machine, and now we can start cutting. Right now, the Cricut is looking for the black marks to try to find where the image is. And then after it detects all of the marks, it will know exactly where to cut. While that's cutting, I'm going to turn on the Glaminator all the way to the foil setting. While the Glaminator is heating up, I'm going to remove the images, and then we're going to get ready to foil them. So inside the carrier sheet, I'm just going to open that and place my images inside with the right side up, so the ink side up, and then I'm just going to trim down a piece of foil. You may have noticed that my snowflake was silver and now I'm doing gold, but there's so many different colors of foil, so it's so fun to play with all the different options. And then all you do is you cover up your images with the foil. Just make sure that they're not overlapping. And we'll put the straight edge up at the top. So my images are not overlapping, and then I'm gonna close it so that the seam is right up at the top. Now we'll wait until the indicator light turns green, and then we'll be ready to foil. Once the indicator light is green, it's ready, and you'll just feed your project through. And once it's inside this little gap, it'll grab your project and pull it through, so you can let it go and then just grab it when it's done on the other side. After your print is ready, you're just going to open up this transfer sheet or this carrier sheet, and then you can peel back your snowflakes and you can check out the foil. Just like that, they are all foiled, and you can see that there was no weeding. Everything just stuck to the ink, and now we can place them in our snowflakes. to get your snowflake in your ornament, you're going to remove the cap and then roll your transparency film up like this until it fits inside your ornament, and then just let it go and smooth it out so that it's lined up with the name facing you. Now we're going to fill our ornament with some snow flurries. I have the snow flurries that look just like this. And I actually decided to use an extra piece of the transparency film as a funnel. So you can either use a real funnel or extra transparency. And I just snuck it behind my name and rolled it up so that I could get the snow into the ornament just like this. Now you will make a mess when you fill up your ornament, so be aware. You may want to put a sheet of cardstock down on your surface before you start filling, because it is a little bit messy, but that's okay. It adds to the snow appeal of the project. So I just kind of shoved the snow down the funnel and then pushed it in. You may want to use a chopstick or a tool to get it in. I'm going to cut my funnel a little bit shorter so that I can get my snow shoved down there. You can fill as little or as much as you want, and you can see on the back that it really does look like snow. And on the front, I actually liked with my other ornament that a little bit of the snow got in the front, so that it kind of looked like snowflakes on top of my, or snow flurries on top of my snowflake. So after you're done with that, then you just take your little ornament cap and squish it back in right behind your transparency film. Just like that. I used a hot glue gun to attach my bow, but you can also just tie it right to the front and add a little bit of holiday cheer. So you may have a lot of snow to clean up, but other than that, these ornaments are super easy after you've designed the file. Again, the link is in the description below for the canvas so that you can just add the names and then flatten your images to make your own custom snowflakes. Or you can add the year or some other holiday sentiment. So once you get the hang of this, these will take you about 3 minutes a piece. So not bad at all. You don't have to mess with weeding or vinyl or transfer tape. It's a print then cut that you then foil using the Glaminator. So again, I'll put all the links to everything I used in the description below. And as always, if you have questions or comments, leave them and I will answer them as soon as I can. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'd love if you subscribe to my channel and check out my Facebook group for more Cricut crafts. All right, I'll see you in the next video.